What's up, ladies and gents, how are you all doing? This is Ghost here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about endgame, and in specifics, air superiority. As you guys know, I rather enjoy to fly a jet every now and again, as I'm sure many of you do. And endgame's coming out in a short while, and along with it, air superiority. And also capture the flag and a load of other stuff, but we'll cover that later on. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've been getting busy in conquest maps, trying to hone my dogfighting skills in preparation for this new game type. So basically what it's all going to be about is, as far as I understand, and you have to understand this is based off the information we've been given, we haven't really been had an in-depth look at air superiority as of yet. We've seen capture the flag, we've seen blogs about the new maps and the new the vehicles, but we haven't really seen much about air superiority. So this has pretty much been deduced by me from the trailer that came out for it. What we do know that it is 12 versus 12 jets, and it's basically going to be a conquest type game mode. Only instead of conquest flags, there are, well, they're essentially, they seem to be big blimps that float around in the sky, and from what we can see in the trailer, you simply fly around them in a certain radius, and you capture it just like you would a conquest flag. Now, if you're thinking what I'm thinking, then 12 jets flying around in the sky isn't particularly exciting. However, they have put some sort of obstacles to spice things up a bit. So the map that you see in the trailer is an abandoned flats, and as you can see, there are these big wind turbines in the sky on that map, and there's jet pilots flying in and out of those, you know, trying to trick the guy who's behind him into crashing into them. But really, apart from that, there doesn't seem to be much apart from obstacles and blimps. It would be nice if there was some mountains, you know, something you could hide behind to sort of get rid of a lock-on or something like that. But I'm sure we're going to find out about, you know, in depth about air superiority soon enough. Having no ground targets means that really nobody's going to have any use for rocket pods. So this is going to be interesting because up until now, people really only use air radar, rocket pods, and then flares or ECM. But in air superiority, the only weapon system you're really going to have use for is going to be heat seekers. So that's actually going to give them a reason to exist anymore. You know, up until now, I mean, nobody really uses heat seekers anymore once they get good enough in a jet to take down enemy pilots using the machine gun. But this is going to be interesting. Although, I have to say that 12 versus 12, it sounds kind of messy. You know what I mean? I mean, can you imagine? Everyone's been in conquest games when you're in a plane and the enemy two pilots are coming at you. You're being locked on from different directions. You've got two guys coming at you. I mean, imagine when there's 12 enemy jets on the other team. I don't know, it just sounds kind of insane to me, and like the skill sort of portion of the game in jets might just sort of go out the window, you know, and you just get gang raped essentially by 6 enemy jets at once. And there's not really going to be a whole lot that you can do about it. But I don't know, I'm going to keep my reservations to myself at the moment. That's kind of how it sounds. Maybe there's some sort of twist, or, you know, maybe it won't be like that. Maybe it will be incredibly tactical, and I really hope it will be. And I suppose we'll get to see it in the future. If anything, this is going to be a really nice opportunity to do some squad-up style content with a team of pilots. That's definitely something I would be interested in, getting a group of guys together who are, you know, quite proficient at flying the jet, and jumping in air superiority with them and seeing what we can do. So since we're all sat here having a lovely discussion about endgame anyway, and there really isn't a whole lot of information to go on for air superiority yet, let's just talk about a few of the other things that are happening in endgame. So aside from air superiority, the other big game mode is the return of Capture the Flag, which was a game mode actually that came out with the release of the original Battlefield 1942. And they brought in a new vehicle as well, which is the motorcycle, specifically designed for this game mode. It has 2 seats on it, so you can have a buddy on the back to defend you as you know, zoom off back to your base to capture the enemy flag. I can see that being a lot of fun. On top of that, most of the map design seems to be based around this specific game type and this specific vehicle, that is to say the motorcycle. So they put jumps in all the maps to assist in getting to or from an objective on the bikes as soon as possible. They're essentially going to be escape routes, or, you know, ways that you can get into the enemy base as quick as possible. Now, I'm going to go ahead and assume that most of you guys know how the classic Capture the Flag game mode works, but there are a few differences when it comes to Battlefield 3. For example, when you pick up the enemy flag, Luckily, it will be placed on the back of your soldier or vehicle, which to me is a big relief, because there's nothing more annoying than holding the flag and not being able to use your weapon due to, just having the flag. It just makes you feel completely defenseless. Nobody wants to just go running around with the flag and not be able to shoot anyone or defend yourself and just have to, depend upon your allies. So that's pretty nice. When you go to return the flag, your own team's flag must be at your base. Otherwise, you'll have to go and retrieve it first before being able to score a point with the enemy flag. So if you kill an enemy player carrying your flag's team, returning it isn't quite as simple as just simply running over it, as it is in a lot of other games. It'll essentially act as a temporary capture point, just like a flag in Conquest, and a time will start to tick down, while you're standing in the vicinity of the flag. The more players of your team who stay around it, the faster the timer will tick. And this is actually something that really interests me a lot, is where the main firefights are going to end up happening. Because as you guys know, in Russian Conquest, the objectives are always in the same location. So a trend usually sort of starts to evolve of defending and attacking from popular places of cover or vantage points. But since the objective in Capture the Flag is always going to be mobile, these firefights, can and probably will erupt like anywhere on the map. So people are really going to have to think on the fly of where they're going to take cover or how they're going to flank around, and that's something that sounds extremely exciting to me. I gotta say guys, just like with Air Superiority, I am so looking forward to jumping in a game with some of the guys from Charlie Squad and doing some nice CTF teamwork on the back of some of those motorbikes. That is going to be awesome. They've even given the dirt bike its own physics engine, so that combined with the jumps is going to be pretty epic. Apparently some of these jumps aren't as obvious as others, so they could be made out of anything from an obvious metal ramp to a cleverly concealed mound of dirt on the ground. So finding them and knowing where they are will play a big role in getting to and from the objective as fast as possible. If you guys noticed the blog that came out the other day, as with the other expansion sets, they're going to be releasing a total of 4 new maps, and this time around they've based them on the 4 seasons. That is to say, one based on springtime, one on summertime, one on autumn, and one on winter. And they recently released a screenshot of each map so we can get a little overview of them. So the first map you can see here is called Operation Riverside, which is obviously the autumn map. You can see there's some sort of electrical power station in the middle there, and it seems to be surrounded by this river. I'm not sure it's surrounded, but it's at least running past it. So this map looks like it's mainly going to be about infantry combat by the looks of things, since, if you're infantry, you can easily surpass the river by going over it. And I dare say that there are a few jumps there along the way. If you happen to be a motorcycle, you can probably just, jump the hell over it, man. However, if you're going to be travelling in heavy armour, you'll probably have to go all the way around to gain access. And the place is absolutely covered in trees and shrubbery as well, so that'll be perfect for sniping from. It looks like a sniper's paradise. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not exactly sure. Now, the second map is called Abandoned Flats, and it's also the one that we saw in the Air Superiority trailer. It's quite the opposite in terms of playstyle to the last map. The whole area is completely flat and wide open, as the name dictates. So, sorry snipers, no cover for you guys. It also means that everything is accessible via vehicles, so I think this is going to be one of the more larger maps with a lot of vehicle play. So the third map on our list, guys, is Keosar Railroad, and it's, well, as you might guess, it's a railroad. It's running through the middle of a logging camp in the spring. More similar to Operation Riverside, this map has plenty of cover and trees and foliage to take cover behind, and it's far from flat. On the contrary, it looks rather hilly. And our fourth wintry map here is called Sabaland Pipeline. Everyone seems to like the good old snowy maps, don't they? And this one seems to have quite narrow roads, so the action will be quite intense, I reckon. It also really reminds me of one of the maps from Bad Company 2. I don't recall the name, but I remember it had a pipeline that went up the side of a mountain, and you could walk along it and flank the enemy from the side. So if any of you guys remember the name, please let me know down below, because it's really annoying me. It's so familiar to me. So in addition to this lot, there's going to be a couple of new vehicles in the game. There's some sort of Jeep-type armoured transportation with a rocket launcher fitted to the back, as well as AA heat seekers, so that's going to be a first. And then there's the new dropship that everybody's been raving about. there's going to be the C-130, which is essentially the cargo version of the AC-130, and it's going to be able to drop in various vehicles into the map. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work or what kind of vehicles they're going to be, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough as March approaches. I wanted to apologise quickly to you guys for not having a proper video up for quite a while now. If any of you are wondering, I'm actually doing a 4-year course to learn to be a chef, and I'm now in my final semester. So, as you might imagine, the workload is really starting to pile on. I've been given loads of essays and assignments, as well as making recipes and practical cooking and stuff that I have to do. So, I'm just going to try and get a video out whenever I can. I would love to do one every day, but if I can get one out once a week, then that's just going to have to do. As always, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and comments down below. If you enjoyed the content, please feel free to subscribe. Likes and favourites are always appreciated. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon for another video. Cheers.